Okay, everybody, welcome, welcome. We're going to get started here. I think we're right on time. I think so. Some people are just kind of joining, rolling in. Really happy you guys are all here. All right, I'm going to get rolling. So, hello, everybody. My name is Matt Harmon, and I'm actually here to introduce Ward Bell. I'm Ward's assistant and his technology guru. Ward doesn't even like email very much, so I'm running this for him today. So, um, welcome. We're really happy you're here. I'm excited for you guys to be here. Ward's going to share just a ton of really good information. And I've been actually following Ward's advice and teachings here just recently, and man, the changes I've had are fantastic. So we're excited to show those to you. Ward, are you there?
I'm right here.
Okay, fantastic. So everybody on the call, if you would do me a quick favor, over on the right-hand side, you should see a chat box. If you just let me know that you guys can hear me, just type in the chat box there that you can hear us, and that's great. So what are we going to learn today? Well, we're going to learn how to lose weight. We're going to have some fun with this, and we want you guys to just sit back and relax and take in the information. And make sure you get a pen and paper too, because we want you to take notes on this information. Okay, Ward, go to the next slide real quick.
Should be up.
Okay, so at the end of the webinar, for those of you who stick around and are still in attendance, we are going to give away a free Fitbit from Amazon. And there's no strings attached or anything to that. We'll just draw a name at random, and then we're going to send it to you as a free gift. All right, so what are you going to learn today? Well, one of the biggest things that you're going to learn is how to, for one, ditch boring cardio, which I'm really excited to learn about. We're going to teach you about a really powerful fat-burning hormone, and we're also going to teach you some foods that are proven to stall fat loss. And then we're also going to teach you how to safely use some supplements to slingshot your progress. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce Ward here. Ward, you on that slide with the good-looking picture of you?
Yeah, Matt, I am. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate everyone that's on the call or on the webinar with us today. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I want to talk about why this information is so important. And one of the most important things that we are going to discuss today is how almost all of the fat loss stuff that's out there that's marketed to you as knowledge is completely false and dead wrong. We've been passing on poor habits to our children from that false knowledge. There's so much confusion over what really works. And because of that, there are a lot of weight-related health problems, and we're even now to a point where our life expectancies are being shortened based on overweight, obesity, and it's very important that we get rid of all of these false marketed, just wrong information, things that are out there, and get to the truth. Is this for you? If you're a woman and if you want to be lean year-round, yes, this is for you. If you're between the ages of 40 and 60, if you struggle to get long-lasting results, if you want more energy, if you have experienced poor health, this is for sure for you. My favorite one, if you've tried to lose weight and failed, or like me, if you failed to keep it off, that used to be me. This is for you. If you have a slow metabolism, if you're stuck, and if you want to figure out how to fix that once and for all, then today's going to be for you. What we're not going to discuss any fad diets today. We're not going to talk about magic pills. There's no, magic herb from the Amazon put in a little pill that's going to, give you some sort of magic result while you sit at home and eat cupcakes all day. That stuff doesn't work. The clients that I have had far above average results simply because almost no one ever reaches their goals and stays there without understanding what I'm going to cover with you guys tonight. a little bit about me and where I'm from and what happened for me is that I didn't always have a body I was happy with. Not at all. In fact, I've struggled with my weight and my body since early childhood. I was the fat kid in grade school. That was me. I got picked on. All of my other, buddies had little girlfriends, and they got to go get their first kisses and have their hands held, outside at recess. Not me. None of that happened for me. I was made fun of for my weight all the way up until high school. And why I think this is important for you guys to know is that there are so many gurus out there. There are so many weight loss coaches, so many fitness professionals. There's so many people out there who are teaching you or trying to teach you how to transform your body who have never had an overweight body to transform themselves. I think if we can all agree that if you wanted to learn how to make a transformation in another part of your life, let's say your finances, if you wanted to go from being broke to being rich, would you want to take advice from someone who grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth and who inherited a bunch of money? Would that be the person you would ask? Or would you want to take advice and learn from someone who had been where you were and who had been broke and then gotten rich as well? And that's why I think it's important that you guys are here with me today is so that you can learn from someone who has been overweight, has struggled with their weight and their body, and then has been able to change it not only for themselves but then for other people based on the struggles that I went through. So like I said, all through my early childhood, I had weight issues, and then in high school, because of all of the extra activity in sports and because of those massive amount of teenage and puberty hormones, even though I didn't know how to eat properly, I did lean out, and I did, have a body for those couple of years that I was very confident in and I felt great about. And I would imagine that, many of you on the webinar at some point in your life may have had that same experience, and maybe when you were going through those years or in your early high school, or there was a time when you can think back and go, man, I missed that body that I had for those years, and that was me. And I experienced all the benefits of that and all the extra attention and all of that boosting my confidence and self-esteem. And then after high school, when my activity obviously from sports, changed to be mostly sedentary again, and those hormones leveled out, I got fat all over again. And then through the years, I would get sick of the way that I looked. So I would try whatever diet was out there and being marketed to me, and I failed miserably at every single one. I did the low-fat diet where you could eat whatever you wanted if it was low-fat. I don't know if any of you remember low-fat tortilla chips and no-fat cupcakes and Pop-Tarts, but as long as it didn't have fat in it, you could eat it. And the professionals out there at the AMA were saying this would be great and you'll lose weight, just keep your fat low. Well, it didn't work for me. In fact, I gained more weight. I tried the high-fat diet. I've tried the grapefruit diet, the cabbage soup only diet. There was even a time where I went 10 full days without ingesting any food or any caloric drink, meaning I took in absolutely nothing but water for 10 days straight, and still, over time, I gained more weight. Frustrated with all that, I tried to think back at my early years, and I tried extra activity and exercise. So I thought, all right, well, if this diet isn't going to work, I'm going to get my body back and burn all these calories off through, hours and hours and hours of exercise. And all that did for me is it got me injured. I injured my knees, I injured my lower back from overtraining, trying to get my weight down. So instead of getting my weight down, I gained more weight. Then I went through, I think many of you may have went through something like this before, but I went through losing the love of my life. My fiance left me, and I got really depressed. And I bet you can guess what happened next. I gained more weight. Now, moving from there, once I got that depressed and I'd struggled that long, things got kind of serious for me. Not a lot of men will admit to this type of thing, but I did develop an eating disorder. I did have bulimia. I would stuff my face at night with whatever I could get my hands on, and then I would feel so guilty about it and didn't want to get any fatter than I was that I forced myself to throw it up. I then tried to change that poor behavior and tried to trade one bad habit for another, and instead started drinking a lot. And you know, that certainly didn't help my life at all, and it didn't help my weight either. And I was really at the lowest point in my life, moving into, you know, into my late 20s, going into my 30s, to completely unhappy with who I was, the way I looked, and how I felt. And then one day I woke up and I just finally had enough. I think many of you who are on this webinar have maybe are having that day today, or have had that day recently, and you understand where I'm coming from. I had just had enough. And because I'd had enough, I decided to do whatever it would take to be able to find the truth about health, weight loss, keeping a lean body, feeling good. And I knew the truth had to be out there because I knew there were people who had done it. My philosophy has always been, if someone else can do it, I can do it if I'm just coached properly, or if I can just learn the proper method. So I invested money that I didn't have to go out there and find the answers. It was just that important to me. And it became an obsession for me. But I wanted to find the answers, and mostly I wanted to find the truth. So I sought out and I interviewed experts, the gurus, and I went and I interviewed a lot of people that I spoke about before who had been overweight, and then who had had a massive transformation and maintained that change and that new amazing body for more than a year or two. I even dove all the way into studying university and science research, dug into the paperwork of all of the, you know, the fat loss studies that had been out there. And instead of reading Stephen King or Dean Koontz at night, I would read scientific studies. That's just how important it was to me. And because I did all that, and I experimented on myself, I did find the secrets that worked. I figured out what I needed to do. I found the truth, and I discovered how to change my life. Check that picture out. Over there on the left, even though that guy is smiling, he's not smiling on the inside, I can tell you. And you may even be looking at that picture going, well, Dad, let me tell you that there was a time I wouldn't let anyone take a picture of me at all, and that is not by far the worst I ever looked. But it was still pretty bad in my mind. And then you look over there on the guy on the right, that's who I am today. And that's who I became simply by finding the truth and ignoring all the mass media marketing. And that's why you guys are here today. And I'm excited to have you here because I can share it with you, and I know it's going to change your life like it did mine. You know, even if you've struggled for a long time. I mean, for me, it was almost a decade. But no matter how long you've struggled, the answers are here, and I'm going to dive into right now a couple of foundational steps for them. If you see there on the screen, we've got diet, exercise, and supplementation, but let's dig in right here to the first one, which is called the invisible diet. Now, the media would like you to believe that it's all your fault, the way, you know, that your body mass, your BMI index, your fat percentage is all about your lack in willpower. Remember earlier when I told you I went 10 days without eating or drinking any calories whatsoever? I don't think that displays a lack of willpower. But I still couldn't lose weight. In fact, I still continued to gain. Because fat loss is not simply a matter of willpower. Far from it. It's a matter of understanding hormones. And one specific hormone that is called the fat hormone. And that is called leptin. Now, for those of you guys who have heard of leptin, or if you haven't heard of leptin, jump over there in the chat box if you would for me, and just let me know if you've ever heard of leptin, yes or no. I'm curious to see how many people on the webinar with me have even heard of this hormone at all, because I had never heard of it until digging very deep. Now, let me explain to you a little bit about what leptin is. Leptin actually is a hormone that signals your brain to the amount of fat on your body and whether or not that is enough for your survival. It also is the hormone that tells your brain how much food you've just ingested, so how much food you've just eaten, and if that is enough. Now, women have twice as much of this hormone as men. However, the problem is women are much more resistant to the hormone. And often this is called leptin resistance and is a big reason why crash dieting tends to work better for men than it does women. Now, here are some of the symptoms of leptin resistance. Take a look at these for a minute for me, you guys. When I first saw these symptoms, it was mind-blowing for me. I read through here and almost every single one of, I felt like I had every single one of them, so much to the point that I wanted to go get my ovaries checked. That's was like every single one of these is a problem that I had. But I'm curious for you, if you're on the webinar and you can see the chat box, jump over there to me or for me as well and type in which one of these symptoms you struggle with the most or think is the is the one that you deal with the most. Jump over there, type that in. Which one are you struggling with? I'm really curious to see that also. Now we'll go back while you're doing that, and I'm going to explain just a little bit more about how it works. When leptin levels are high and your sensitivity to it is high, it tells your brain you're full, and your brain will hear it. When leptin levels are low or your sensitivity is low, it tells your brain you're hungry even if you've eaten a lot of food. It's kind of like if someone were to talk to you and then you put on, earmuffs, right? Your brain just doesn't hear it. If someone screams at you and you have those earmuffs on, it's not going to be as loud. Research is that levels in women fall twice as much as men. And so when women try the crash and the fad diets, they have giant leptin swings that results in those extreme carbohydrate cravings that they're irresistible. I think many of you have probably experienced this. I know I have. The leptin and carbohydrate cravings there's just no willpower in the world can stop those things. And that's why the invisible diet that we have focuses on supporting your leptin levels and your sensitivity. We really want to make sure, in fact, we have to make sure that we eliminate your leptin resistance. And we do that by increasing your sensitivity using two things. First, we use the proper food. And secondly, and this is as if not more important, but the timing of the ingestion of food. So proper food and proper timing restores your leptin levels and restores your sensitivity. Now, here are 4 other things you can do to help increase your leptin sensitivity as well. One is just to get more sleep. The more REM sleep you get, the better all of your hormones operate. 2, follow a well-designed diet and exercise program. 3, use a supplement designed to increase that leptin sensitivity. And then 4, again, very important, properly timed nutrition. So leptin here is really the key. It's so important, and without understanding this key, the results that you're looking for have probably evaded you. Women can't diet like men. They just can't. But here's what you can do. We can figure out how to increase your leptin sensitivity because you have twice the amount of the hormone as men. We can get your sensitivity up to a point where you can burn fat twice as fast as men. Now, how would you guys like to be able to turn the tables on your significant other or some other male, some man in your life? How would you like to be able to finally look at him and go, ha ha ha, I'm finally losing weight twice as fast as you? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That's what we're going to do for you. So moving forward, let's cover the foods that can cause many people to experience plateaus. Now, I do have a disclaimer here. Everyone's body is different, and some of you will have different levels of sensitivity to these different types of foods. But here are 4 of the biggies and the most common ones. 1 is gluten, 2, dairy, 3, virtually all processed foods, and 4, some artificial sweeteners as well. So again, if you guys could jump over there in the chat box for me, look at these 4, tell me which of these, because I'm curious, which of these 4 foods do you consume the most of? Is it gluten? Is it artificial sweeteners? Which one of these 4 you think you're taking in the most of currently? And while you're doing that, we're going to go ahead and move forward into the second part of what we do here, which is exercise or activity that boosts your leptin levels. Now, the absolute best form of activity to increase leptin levels and leptin sensitivity is something called high-intensity interval training. It's shortened for HIIT with 2 I's, but it's a type of exercise in which you alternate short, very high-intensity intervals with longer, slower recovery or rest periods. Think for a second of the difference between what a marathon runner's body looks like or a sprinter's body. And what you'll see is that a marathon runner's body, someone who has a lot of activity over a long period of time, they have a much higher body fat percentage than a sprinter who, quite frankly, does a whole lot less exercise and a whole lot less activity, but they do a much higher intensity when they are active. HIIT stimulates large secretions of all of your good beneficial hormones, human growth hormone, and all of your fat-burning mechanisms, as well as leptin and sensitivity. We're going to bust a myth, and this is my favorite slide. For whatever reason, again, mass marketing and media, but we've been manipulated to think that as females, if you are weight training or if you quote unquote lift like a man, that you will look like a man. And this is absolutely and completely false. The woman over here on the left, none of you on this webinar have the hormones to be able to turn yourself into a masculine, overly muscled looking body. Females do not naturally have the hormones to be able to look like a man. If a woman is looking like a man, then I would bet a great amount of money, let me say that she is supplementing with some type of hormone to make her look that way. Now, if you go over here to the right, this is what a healthy, high-intensity interval training woman who lifts and lifts heavy. Now, I'm not saying so heavy that she's hurting herself. What I'm saying is that is what a woman who weight trains and weight trains properly will look like a swimsuit model. Now, I'm curious, which one of these 2 would you guys rather look like? I think we all know it's the woman on the right. And weightlifting is not something you guys should run from. It's not something you have to do. It's not something that we're going to insist upon today. But it's something that I want to make sure that you know that if you are interested, if you enjoy weightlifting, you don't have to be afraid that you're going to end up looking like a man. The more you weightlift properly, the more you're going to look like the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, not the giant, scary bodybuilder girl. Weight training stimulates, again, large secretions of all of your positive fat-burning hormones. Human growth hormone, again, all your leptin levels. It is one of the absolute best things you can do. In fact, it's better, let me say this again, weight training is better for your fat loss and for your body fat percentage. It's better than cardio. Now moving into the third part, which is the supplement slingshot. This is important, and I want to make sure you guys really understand this, and that is that not all supplements are created equal, and a lot of companies, not just online, but lots of the companies that are sitting in your shelves at GNC or at Walmart, and their products are flat out scams. 100%, sorry to tell you that, but that's just the truth. Taking supplements alone without changing anything else, will not burn fat and keep it off regardless of what any marketer tells you ever. That's just how it is. There are some leptin supporting supplements. You can see a couple here. Ervingia gabonensis extract. You can see oleanolic acid. These are things that have been scientifically proven to boost leptin sensitivity. And then when you combine those supplements with these other fat metabolizing supplements that have, again, all been scientifically proven, L-carnitine, branched chain amino acids, CLA, when you combine those all together in the right amounts and the right timing, you have optimal fat burning potential. So I'm curious for everybody on the webinar, again, would you do me a favor and tell me right now over in the chat box what has been the most valuable to you from this webinar so far? What have you learned or taken from this that's been most valuable? If you type that in over there, that would be huge for me. I'd like to see that. And while you're typing, you're at your computer, you're watching this webinar, and you've heard how this works. You know these strategies are the most effective way to reach your goal. You guys know that. But you're probably wondering, how are we going to implement them? How can you implement all the tactics? How can you implement the strategies? How can we figure out leptin for you? And how can we do it quickly and easily? I have good news. If you'd like me to help you, that's what this webinar's for. Everything we've gone over, I'd be delighted to do that. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that next. We have a Metabolism Switch 4-week live boot camp. And the boot camp is specifically designed to help you get stronger, leaner, healthier in just 28 days, 4 weeks. So if you want to lose fat, if you want to boost your metabolism, if you want to have more energy, and if you want to conquer your leptin resistance, and if you want to have your friends saying, girl, you look hot, what is your secret? If that's you, in 28 days, then this is specifically for you. Here's what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. The boot camp is going to have 4 weeks where we cover the invisible diet, exercises to energize, the supplement slingshot, and the relapse reset. In week 1, we're going to cover the foundations of this invisible diet. And it means invisible because it doesn't feel like a diet. It's not restrictive. So you can easily build your own personal, customized invisible diet that's 100% unique to you. We're going to cover macronutrients and how you use them to burn the most amount of fat in the least amount of time. We're going to activate your fat burning hormones and show you how to reach your goals as fast as possible. There are foods that we're going to show you that will help you eliminate excess water retention so that you can use those foods when you need to be lean and pull the most amount of water out as possible when you're walking into a special event like a wedding or some event where you maybe you're going to a lake or something like that. You're being a swimsuit. We're going to show you what to do so you can get through any fat loss plateaus. And we're even going to customize this diet to include some, let me say that again, some alcohol. So you can still have a social life without stopping your progress. And I know that that's probably going to be important to many of you who are on the webinar. At the end of week 1, you're going to have a very clear understanding of exactly what you need to eat and how you need to eat for maximum fat loss so that you can stay lean all year long. And you will have homework that will be to build and follow your personalized and customized invisible diet. Moving on into week 2, we're going to begin with the exercises to energize, and we're going to discover the most efficient fat-burning exercises so that you can burn fat as fast as possible and spend the least amount of time working out as possible. We have a saying in the industry which is called MED. MED stands for minimum effective dose. We're going to find for you your personal minimum effective dose of exercise to get your hormone levels, your leptin levels, and your sensitivity up to burn fat as fast as possible. And we'll customize that activity regardless of your fitness level, even if you're injured. Like I told you before, I got myself injured, hurt my knees. I couldn't even exercise when I began. At the end of week 2, you're going to have 100% clarity on the best activity and exercises that are going to support your fat loss and will get you energized. Then your homework in week 2 will be for you to build and follow your customized exercises that energize. Then in week 3, we dig deep and we begin to discover what supplements support your fat loss so that you can kick that fat burning up a notch, 2 notches, 3 notches, and really get in the zone. We'll talk about what supplements and what brands you can trust, which ones work well together, and most importantly, which ones are safe so that you can feel good when you order them and know that it's going to be safe to use. At the end of week 3, you're going to know exactly what supplements to take, and your fat loss results will be at warp speed by that time. And then your homework is going to be to build and follow your supplement slingshot. As we get into week 4, this one is my favorite week. This is the relapse reset. In the relapse reset, we're going to figure out for you what are your biggest roadblocks. Which, we have a list of roadblocks that cause 95% of people to relapse. I've seen so many of these over the years. I can identify them pretty quickly. But finding your roadblocks, what are the things that make you stop your own progress, make you quit, make you get off track? What are those own personal psychological things of yours? We're going to dig into those, discover what they are, and then we're going to figure out how to either blast through those roadblocks, or if they're too big and we can't run them over, we'll figure out how to detour around them so that either way we're able to get you where you want to go. We're also going to teach you an exercise you can do that will stop a craving dead in its tracks, which is going to minimize any, cheating or any crazy rampages in the kitchen that you may feel like you want to have. At the end of week 4, you're going to know exactly how to deal with problems that arise when you're on your track for success, and we're going to guarantee you can reach your goals. In week 4, your homework's going to be very simple. Build and follow your personalized relapse reset. So you're going to get this exact system. This is the one I've personally used to get here and to stay here, and that my clients have personally used. These are all people that have used the invisible diet, used the exercises to energize, and the supplement slingshot, and the relapse reset, and they've had amazing results. And these are people who've kept their weight and their body transformations over long periods of time. Here's what it looks like, the schedule. The first week will be next Tuesday, August 19th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then that will be followed by 3 subsequent weeks on Tuesday at the exact same time. Now, if you can't make it, that's totally okay. If you have other obligations in life, business, work, socially, we get it. But every student, you can still enroll because you're going to receive the recordings. So you'll receive the boot camp recordings, you can watch them at your convenience, and still be a part of the boot camp and the class. What else do we have included? Well, you get 4 weeks of the Metabolism Switch trainings. You get 4 weeks of live questions and answers. You get the recordings. These are lifetime recordings from the classes, from each session. You're going to get the Invisible Diet template, which you can use for a lifetime. The foods list, again, used for a lifetime. And my favorite, and I believe the most important for all of us, you're going to get to be lean and be healthy year-round. And I think we all know that's priceless. Now, because we're doing this internet special, instead of that price that you see at the bottom of the screen, we're going to do this for you for $499. I just saw a statistic, everyone, that says that the average woman spends $7,000, let me say that again, $7,000 a year on bogus weight loss products. $7,000 a year on stuff that doesn't work for them. And instead, what I'm going to offer you today is for $499, I'm going to give you the tools and the training and the knowledge so that this is the last money that you ever spend on any type of weight loss or body transformation or or health product, because we're going to give you the truth for $499. So here's what you do. It's real simple. Over there underneath the chat box, you should see a secure checkout link on the right, and you can instantly enroll right there. Now, if you don't see it, please type in the chat box saying, hey, I can't see the link. It's not on my screen. Once you can also go to the link there at the bottom, strongerleanerhealthier.com/bootcamp, if for some reason that yellow tab isn't there. Now, when you visit the secure checkout link on the right or the link there at the bottom, you instantly enroll right off that link. Then, as soon as you've enrolled, you will receive a receipt in your email, and I will immediately email you the class schedule with instructions on how to attend week 1. So for the recap, this is for you if you want to lose fat. If you want to boost your metabolism, have more energy, boost your self-confidence, this was huge for me. And if you want to have your friends, your family members, maybe even some people you don't like very much look at you and say, oh my goodness, you look amazing, what's your secret? And if you want to have all that in 28 days, click that link, strongerleanerhealthier.com/bootcamp, and go ahead and enroll. And by the way, if you attend all 4 weeks, if you for some reason you don't feel like you got your money's worth, I can't see that happening, but if that were to happen for you, you can let me know, and I'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. You can still keep everything. No wiggle clauses, no shenanigans. The truth is, I'd much rather have your trust than your money. However, I'm going to throw in a couple more things. I will personally be reviewing each of your invisible diets and making sure to share any recommendations or do any tweaks so you can be certain you will hit your goals. Now, here's what I mean. If, like I spoke about earlier, maybe you don't like tomatoes, but I wouldn't know that if I were to put the diet together for you without any input from you. So you're going to put this diet together based on the things that I've taught you, based around the template, and using foods that you already know you like, using timing in your schedule that already works for you. This is all about creating a model that actually works in your life. And instead of you trying to change your life around diet and exercise and supplementation, we're going to change your diet and your supplementation and your exercise around your life. So you're going to help us put it together. You're still going to email it to me. I'm going to look at it, review it closely. If there are any tweaks or anything isn't 100% on, I'll adjust that for you and get it back to you to make sure you have 100% success. And this is so cool. I love this. If you're one of the first 3 people to enroll right now, you're going to receive a 100% free Fitbit from Flex from Amazon to help you track all the weight that we're going to take off of you. So if you're one of the first 3, jump over there actually and tell me in the chat box, whoever the first 3 people are to enroll, jump in that chat box and tell me once you've enrolled so that we can announce and say, and let everyone see who were the first 3 to be able to get these Fitbits. They're super cool. And because it's a $100 value, right, it's another, you can look at it as an extra $100 off of the bootcamp tuition. So the first 3 people to enroll, you also get this super cool Fitbit. Please jump over there in the chat box and let me know if you're one of the first 3 so that we can make sure that you get that. Now, as we recap, the Metabolism Switch 4-week bootcamp, your personal and customized invisible diet review, the Fast Action Taker Fitbit Flex bonus, the total value as you can see, but for today only, we're going to do it at $499 for you, when I think we all can agree that this type of information for a lifetime is priceless. I do need to warn you, because the boot camp starts in 7 days, I have to close it this week. So you've watched this entire presentation, you're ready for a transformation, and you know this is an excellent value. Take advantage of it. take advantage of the incredible discount, the amazing bonuses, and the you can't lose guarantee, and take advantage of it now. If Matt, if you're still there, I'm going to turn the call back over to you so that you can let whoever know on the webinar who has won the Fitbit just for being on today's presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, Ward. Really appreciate it. So the name that we have drawn at random is Sandra Bailey. Sandra, we have your information, we have your email, so we will be emailing you to let you know that you won. And if you would just provide us with your address and information that we ask, we'll send that over to you. Okay, we're going to do the question and answer session now. So if you guys have any questions for Ward, please just put those in the chat box over on the right-hand side. And during the webinar, Ward, a couple questions did come in. Let's see. First one is, let's see, I failed at a bunch of other diets. What makes this one different?
Well, that's a great question. To address the first part, I'd have to know more about the person asking it, which is I don't know which diets they tried or why specifically they failed. But what I can tell you about what's different about this one is that, again, in fact, every other diet that I've seen out there, it revolves around the concept that people need to drastically change their habits. They drastically need to, change their habits, change their lifestyle, change their schedules, and they also drastically change their the type of food and the consumption to the point where they feel very deprived. That psychological deprivation combined with the habit change is just too much for most people. Human beings, changing habits for human beings, even small, minute changes take long periods of time, and they have to do it willingly. So why the invisible diet and exercises that energize and the supplementation slingshot, and why the program we have at the Metabolism Switch works is because we take someone's life, their schedule, their habits, the foods they like, the times they eat, their lifestyle, and we take all of that and instead of asking them to change all of that in order to follow some program we have for weight loss, we do the opposite, which is we take their current life habits and we help them customize and create something that will be 100% effective and not change any of their habits besides, it may be just eliminating the worst of the poor food choices. Okay, great, awesome. So a couple more questions that came in. This kind of all goes together. What if I can't do the exercises? Do I need a gym? And can I do most of this at home? Yes. Yes, and yes. You can do it all at home. No, you don't need a gym. And we are going to help you find activities. I don't even really like the word exercise. We're going to find activities that you like to do and enjoy doing. Because if we set up some sort of program that is, something you don't like to do, if you don't like to go to the gym or you don't have time for the gym or you don't want to, and we were to try to implement that on you, I'm trying to change your habits, that you're going to give me psychological resistance to that, and it's not going to work. We're looking to find activities that you enjoy at home. Maybe it's walking the dog. Maybe it's, hiking. Maybe, I don't know, you like to do Zumba. Whatever it is, we're going to make sure that we find activities and exercises and energize that you enjoy doing so they don't feel like quote-unquote exercise. Awesome. Okay, let's see. One more. This is a good one. Do I have to buy supplements or is this optional? No, it's 100% optional. You don't have to do anything here, and we're not selling supplements. We're not selling pills, any of that stuff. All I'm going to do is we're going to outline the information. We're going to give you all of your options, tell you what's best, but it's still up to you to decide, yes, I want to utilize this or I don't. So no, you don't have to buy any supplements.
Okay, awesome. Well, I think that's it. Ward, thank you very much for all of this, and thank you everybody on the webinar for attending. We really hope you found it informative, and we're excited to have you on the training class coming up next Tuesday. And if you guys do have any questions, you can actually reply to the emails that we sent you, the reminder emails we sent you about the webinar. Just hit reply and ask us any questions you may have there. Okay, everybody, thanks a lot and have a great evening.